have you seen we have a macro sector, that is food sector, banks and insurance, celebrities, automotive and transport, and the sort of map of the world. And for example, if you, in celebrities, you can find the paper that the Magnani realized for Gabriele D'Annunzio, for leathers, okay? And so here we have the original molds, watermarked molds, and here is the molds, the watermark on the surface of the molds, but also the very, very important part of the project is also to study the documents, because inside the historical archives we have all the information of what? Of who, where, when, for what. Also, we have all the information. And this is a work that we have to do for the 3,000 pieces in our collection, okay? So it's very long. For example, here we have letters of D'Annunzio to Magnani, information about other aspects of the relationship between Magnani and D'Annunzio. A part especially dedicated to artists, writers, and especially printing book. Okay, so Magnani is very famous not only for this kind of watermarked paper, but especially for the paper for artists, for example, for etching. Okay, and we found Magnani watermark in the drawings of Picasso in Musée Picasso. We found the Magnani watermark and Indian manuscript that are in the museum in San Diego in California. We find Magnani watermark in the correspondence of Brother Shelley in the Bodleian Library. Okay, so really all over the world, because in the second part of the 18th century they began to spread all over the world the products, so especially through Lisbona, but also Genova, Marsiglia, Manchester. So the Magnani paper go and into America, into North America, South America, but also in Asia, and they produce particularly watermark that you find in the archives for special countries. That is, for the Great Britain, they produce a watermark with the image of the Great Britain. For the Asia, they produce a paper with a particular image, and also for the South America. So we are at the beginning of the study. Last years we have here an important exhibition about the second edition of a Porto Sepolto of Giuseppe Ungaretti in the 1923, because in the 1923 Ungaretti, with the image of Francesco Gamba and the preface of Benito Mussolini, print his poems, and he wants a particular kind of paper, watermarked paper, and Magnani produced this. For the documents, here we can, now, the next year we have finished the inventory of the archives, and so we can study the documents. In these 700 linear meters of documents, we have all the history of the paper mill, okay? Because they have all the letters that they receive, okay? So you have to imagine we have 800 elements like this with all the letters that they receive. And so they maintain all the letters. For example, here we are in this moment studying a calligrapher that live in North America, Paul Standard, that write to Magnani because he needs paper, okay? But it's very, very important that they maintain not only all the documents and all the letters that they receive, the correspondence, but also they maintain all the letters that they send. Okay? So they put elements like this. There are 521, okay? So inside this element, we have all the letters that they send from 17 November 1922, 1st February 1923, okay? And at the end of this book, we have also the alphabetic order, and then with the name, surname, city, and the number of the page where you can find the letter. Okay? So it's it's simple to make a research. In this moment we are digitizing this part, and we have a project with the University of Florence that called Ayace, use the artificial intelligence. Because now you can transform a digitized document into a file Word. Okay? And when you have the Word file in Word or in PDF, you can find all the name of the city, name and surname. We have also in the archives, for example, sample. Because when they produce a paper for one client, they make an envelope. They write on the envelope all the elements of the clients, all the elements of the paper, and they put in the envelope a sample of paper. So we have 500